What's up, guys? Decided to experiment and maybe do a few videos that are a bit more opinionated and less sort of focused on specific individual self-development and more focused on culture and particularly intersubjective beliefs, so the kind of beliefs that we share as groups. Today I want to talk about religion. Now, I am essentially what you might say anti-religion. Now, that does not mean I'm anti-religious people. I love someone no matter what they fucking believe in. Okay, I have friends and family who are religious. I don't look down on them for being so. I might argue with them, but I love them nonetheless. But religion itself, I have a lot of problems with, because I believe it's essentially a manipulative tool designed to control people and steal their resources, and I don't like that. It's also, as we can see with the Catholic Church, a really great hunting ground for predators. Now, it doesn't mean that all priests are predators, but it does mean that being a priest is a great thing to pretend to be if you are a predator. It gives you a lot of power. And I don't like a structure that creates such a horrific environment. So I'm actually making this video. This video isn't for atheists. This video is for believers. Those of you who have faith. There's a question, a little dilemma I want to throw your way. Let me just get set up here. So I have two brothers. And I want you to imagine a scenario for a second. You're sitting there and you want to eat the cookies. And your brother says, no, you can't. Mum and Dad said we can't eat the cookies. Right? And so you don't eat the cookies. For me, what just happened there is a metaphor for organized religion. I'm a person, I want to do something. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't know if it's a sin or not. And this person who claims to be a messenger from my parents tells me what I can and can't do. Now, the parents are what I believe in. So in this metaphor, the parents are God. The father, the mother. And the brother is your priest, your bishop, your pope, even to some extent your Bible, who's written by men. I believe my brother because he said my parents told him that I can't have the cookies. But the only proof I have that that took place is that he said it. There's no outside confirmation of this. So when you're listening to your priest or you're reading your Bible, the only proof you have that these are the messengers of God is that they say they are. When I say I'm anti-religious, I'm not even challenging your belief in God. You want to believe in God, please go ahead. You know, if that brightens up your day, if that encourages you to be a good person, fill your boots. I've got no problem with that. You want to pray and worship, fucking go for it, right? The issue I have is that you go to this building called a church or a mosque, and there's a guy there and he's wearing robes, he's looking extra fancy, and he speaks in this weird old way of style of speaking, and everybody else is kind of bowing down to him, and it gives you the impression that this is like a special guy. He's got the title of priest, you know, or mullah, imam, and you know, maybe he's got the curls going down, or he's got a special hat, and he's reading from the book, and everybody else seems to think he's the shit. And so when he says, I am the representative for God, I'm the messenger for God, you believe him. But he's just a guy. He was born out of a vagina just like you. He went to school, maybe he had a good time, maybe he got bullied, he played some sports, he did his homework, he shit his pants as a baby. He's no different to you, he's just another human being. And then he went to this university who gave him a degree to say, you're a priest now, and he went and got these fancy robes, and he stood up and he learned how to speak in this really authoritative way, and yet none of that is proof that he's a messenger from God. What we can see in the disaster of the Catholic Church, with all these pedophile priests being found to be guilty and even admitting to their crimes, is that clearly someone who does not have true faith can get to the position of priest and nobody catches them out. So you have to admit, if you're a person of faith, that somebody can get to the position of pretending to be a messenger for God without being caught and being very convincing. When the collection plate comes around and you put your money into it, it's not God telling you to do that. It's just some guy. Really, it's just some dude like you, like me. Right? I want you to hold that belief a little less tightly. You want to believe in God and have faith? I'm not challenging you. But to have faith in man, even the Bible itself cautions against it. Right? Even the Quran cautions against it. This person might think they hear a message from God, but we all hear voices in our heads. Who's to say where that voice comes from? I'm not even arguing from a scientific perspective here. This is all logical reasoning. Think of all the people who have lied to you and tricked you in your life. Think of how convincing some of them were. You think every priest isn't one? My challenge to you, people of faith, have your faith as an individual. Okay? Have it in your own way, your own interpretation. That dude up there with the robes, or that book that you got given and handed to when you were young and you didn't have any critical thinking skills, it's just the opinions and ideas of people, and some of them almost certainly are outright lying. The rest may be just misinformed or delusional. Be a person of faith if you want, but take responsibility for that faith. Do not let some scam artist pretend that they're the voice of God. One thing that all the major religions have in common is they say that no one can know the mind of God. That same contradictory dickhead is sitting right up there on the altar saying he does know the mind of God. That's a blatant sin for him to say that. You know your own mind. Maybe God gave you that mind, if there is such a thing. So you know the mind, not him. You decide what your values are. You decide what it means to worship, to live righteously. Don't let some dude wearing a robe, who probably went to the same school that you did, tell you what to do. He's just a guy. I'm really keen to understand faith a lot better, because while I don't have a problem with people believing in supernatural things that can't be proven, because who knows, maybe there is a God. What I have a problem with is people being duped by what I see as strictly a big business organization, which is organized religion. A money-making scheme. That's how I see it. And I don't see any need to follow the flock in order to be a righteous person of faith. But maybe I'm wrong. Comment below. I am really open to this. This is not an anti-person message in any way. If you're a person of faith who really thinks you should listen to the priest and the pope and the imam and the church and the Bible, tell me why. Tell me why all those people can be trusted when so many people cannot. Cheers.